on Everything Podcast, man. It's your boy Nut Illa.
What's good, man?
What's good, man?
What we talking about?
You gotta introduce yourself a little bit, man. Where you from,
look,
man?
I mean, not gang related, right? You know what I'm saying?
No, I mean, if you want to add that, it's cool. But
I ain't from nowhere. I'm a jokester, you know what I'm saying? Raised in the Bay. I'm from Cali, man. I'm down in San Diego, you know, all across the board. Go to LA a lot. I'm just a Cali boy.
So you from the Bay?
Yeah, I'm from the Bay, Oakland, East Oakland.
East Oakland.
Yeah, you know what I mean? It's a little grimy out there sometimes.
Rough parts? Is it different? Which one you say rougher? That or San Diego?
Next question. Next question. He was playing.
Okay.
I was in your parts of the wood too. Not really, but you know what I mean? I was in one of the Carolinas, not really yours. I was in North Carolina. You in South
Carolina. You say you ate some barbecue, right?
Yeah, man. That was good. That was some good barbecue. You told me it was good too.
Oh, yeah, I miss it, man.
Yeah, no, it was on point.
Actually got to get back home.
I low-key got checked when I landed too. Because I asked the dude, the Uber said, well, you know, what should I eat? He said, do you like barbecue? And I said, man, I know Chuck. I remember when Chuck was on that case about some barbecue. So I had to be careful how I answer this, you know what I mean? He's like, you like East or West? And I said, oh, hell. About to get
Hey, he's about to let you have it with that barbecue.
Yeah, it's about to go down, bro. But nah, he gave me a spot to go to, and it was dope, good spot.
How long you been there for?
I was there for like 6 days. The first day I got there, man, they gave me like 6 days worth of food though. They gave me too much food. I just ordered one thing, got like 6 plates.
And it's probably cheap too.
Yeah, I mean, Uber Eats cheap. You know what I'm saying?
Got it.
Yeah, Uber Eats is still expensive, but yeah, as much as I got, I actually. I took a couple plates down to the front desk because I had too much food, and I was like, you know, blessed them with a dope meal and stuff. So, and they was happy it came from the place it came from. So I said, oh yeah, you know what I mean? Like, bro was like, some mac and cheese in here? I said, yeah, all that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, all that.
All that.
All that.
So, so as far as living in San Diego, man, since you don't want to tell me what's the roughest, what's the best like place as far as both of those? Like, which one would you prefer?
Prefer to live or prefer to
live?
I'm gonna go ahead and say probably back home, but for my goals and stuff, probably San Diego. Yeah.
Why is that?
I got my family in the Bay, man. Like I don't behave. I ain't focused.
You cut up now.
Yeah, I be up there with all my cousins and stuff. You know what I mean? Like I love it, but it's in the level of focus, being close to LA, having like goals. And I've been down to San Diego long enough to where honestly it's home too. So I mean, you just kind of get adjusted. But I've been able to maneuver, and I'm matured a certain way, you know, close to the family down there too. Mm-hmm. So it's like mom's side of the family, the Bay, dad's side of the family in San Diego. All roots come from Louisiana, so the bulk of family live like in the South. But you know, I still get to enjoy it.
Okay. So as far as like. You like, I know you do a lot of things. You say you be, you know, you from Louisiana, and I know you be practicing your voodoo. But
I got a song called Voodoo. Yeah, I do. You know.
Oh yeah. Let the people know.
I actually do got a song called Voodoo. I'll be practicing and mastering the voodoo. That's the hook. But nah, for me, I'm well-rounded when it comes to a lot of that, like culture, and I'm always learning, always. So to me, I'm like a combination of everything at this point because I've been soaking up so much of life since being down here, you know.
So what inspired you to do what you want to do, pretty much? Like, you know, with the marketing and everything else?
Music. My first passion dealing with the music industry. Watching it grow, wanting to be more than a helpless artist. Like I feel like a lot of artists and creators are helpless. They don't know what they're doing. They just want to create. Then they get messed over with contracts and not knowing the game. And, you know, I'm not dumb. So I don't want to just sit there to a point to where like I'm so invested in this that I'll revisit it 15, 20 years down the line and be lost. So the different degrees, it started with we got my associates in music studies. I was taking different courses. I had a music lawyer as one of my professors when I was at a JC. And learning from him made me wanted to just pursue the music business even more, because I started to I was like, this is dope.
Hmm.
Doing the music business, doing an internship at the label, watching the turn of the music industry, stepping away from like the traditional routes. I'm like,
Yeah.
this can be good or bad. I see where it's going. I see how I was like a couple years ahead of the swing. And I'm like, you know what? I need to add to what I have. I like the marketing when I was doing music business. And I'm like, I've been doing this the whole time. I've been dealing with psychology and all this, like, and learning the different pivots of marketing. And I'm like, if I take it and I get that degree,
Hmm.
it's going to make the music business side better. But if for some odd reason I want to step away from music at any given time and just have that like on the side or fuse it together, I can do that too. So that'll kind of inspire me to go that shift. Like, I'm like, you know what? It's going to make what I do better. And then I can apply the other stuff into it and kind of find some way to just be me across the board. Like most people find their degrees and get lost. I'm like, no, I'm trying to consume everything I can and make something that hasn't been done yet and put it together.
I feel you. It sounds like you had a plan and you want to do it, music, but you within your plan you have a B, and C built in.
Yep.
That's dope.
Well, you know, to me, I feel most people who do things don't explore it. And what I mean by that is people do music, but music is everywhere in this world.
True.
You walk in the elevator, you hear music. You go in the store, you hear music. You watch a movie, commercial.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So, but most people hear music and they just shoot for the radio. They shoot for SoundCloud. They shoot for Spotify. Like that's where they end. Me, I'm like, nah, people don't live without music. You teach kids with music,
Right.
with ABCs. Like, I'm like, I want to expand every outlet sound exists.
Hmm.
How do I do that? You know, so kind of, you know what I mean? Like I tied it in and I'm like, man, marketing, the whole marketing industry is 80% hip hop driven right now. You could listen to a BMW commercial. They taking stuff from rap. Whether it's the nuances, whether it's the different mannerisms,
Hmm.
they're taking the catchy urban side. The only difference is a lot of people in those seats don't know anything about the urban side.
Got you.
So when I bring that in, it's already like, man, listen, this is my playground. The marketing side is just what y'all want to take. So my ideas are not gimmicks. They're not anything. I'm bringing a culture that I live in and reside in every day and get feedback in every day. Like it was kind of a no-brainer when I started to realize it. And it was so second nature to take. The one thing I love about when I was going through college for the assignments, I didn't just, and I know you understand when you're doing assignments,
Yeah.
sometimes you can just do the work or you can figure out how it applies to your life. So I was taking like my own curiosities and assignments and flipping them to where I'm like, how would I apply this? So I was learning and then grilling the professors with same stuff I had interest in anyway. Like, oh, we got to create a whole marketing plan and business plan. Cool. Let me create something that's not done and figure out where he going to say the weak points are or the strong points and what he like. You know, so like I was doing, it just was a playground for me and I got graded and got the paperwork.
So just critiquing your own stuff and just bringing it back
You know
before
what's,
the professor even.
full disclosure, one of my boys, me and one of my boys, and when I was doing my undergrad, my music business degree, we came up with Title before Title came out. It's something actually better than Title.
Mm.
Thing is, though, Title is Title. Jay-Z and them are behind that. But we came up with the idea before we even heard of what Title was. And we have full rights to all our stuff, creative control and everything. But it's just like there's certain paths and things we came up with, and it's kind of dope to watch it expand it. And that's happened a few times throughout my life. Come up with something, be in a closed room, question what you're doing, and then watch it on the big screen and be like, we were on the right track. Okay. We just didn't have the right investors. We didn't have the right people behind it.
Yeah.
Not insinuating our ideas were taken, but just knowing we were on the right ideas, knowing we were on the right path of other people who were thinking in that frame that became multimillionaires and billionaires off the same thing, maybe with slight changes. You know, so having that was big to me. Having that and kind of seeing it happen repeatedly is big because most people just give up on their dreams. Mm-hmm. But I've had so many instances to where it's like, that wasn't even a home run. That was a grand slam. Mm. We sat on it. We thought about it. The only thing is we couldn't figure out the legalities behind it, the endorsements, the people, how to get the paper to work, how to get it to the right audiences, because we didn't have engines behind us. But the fact that over and over, every time we have an idea, we sit on it, have it locked in, and then something else in a similar shape comes out, and everyone's like, "This is genius." And I'm like, "Bro, we had that idea 3 years ago."
Dang.
You
So
know?
so my thing is like title. You know, some people don't know what it is.
Yeah.
I
So
know a little bit. So
if
expound
if
on title.
if you
Like,
know iTunes Music, Apple Music, Spotify, Tidal's the same thing. Tidal just came out with higher quality audio, better payouts for artists, and it had exclusive like videos and behind the scenes stuff for artists. They delivered the same content, but it was kind of like the upper echelon, the premium version of a lot of other stuff. It's just that since it was ran and created by like the likes of Jay-Z, the different like Timberland. I think he had a few other investors in it that were also creatives. And that allowed it to have more of the deliverables that cater to creatives versus these mega organizations just putting out music. So Tidal was kind of the thing that favored content creators, favored the artists
over in industry.
over industry standard, because those are ran by businesses. This is ran by creators with business support.
Okay. So what would be your strongest avenue as well? Because I know you say you do everything. So you do a little bit of everything. So what would be your strongest suit as far as whether it's making music, producing music, doing the marketing thing?
At this point,
Oh, excuse me.
I'm a creator. So that's a hard question, but I think I've nailed it down to being a brand specialist at this point. And what I mean by that is anything that I do, I envision it to the level of success that's unstoppable. If it's a music video, I'm thinking brand first and marketing. If it's music, okay, I'm thinking of like creating like a package or something insane. Like I have different pockets in my brain. You know what I'm saying? Like my artistry is crazy if I'm like whether I'm writing or not writing. I freestyle a lot of my songs. So that pocket when I'm in there, like if I don't like a beat, if I can't feel it, I can't even put a song to it. Like I don't force it anymore. But the moment I
Gotcha.
hear a beat, if the beat is 3 minutes long, my song's done in 4. Like I'm just like it's on, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But as far as a strong point, I think I've built up those over so many years that I'm just a strong creator. I can take something from any point, I touch it and complete it. So if I'm not the artist on it, if I'm the executive producer, we can complete it. You know what I mean? Like if I'm in the video sense, if I'm not the person behind the camera, I still can help with the vision. I can put together the teams. Like I know how to execute. I'm an executor. You know how to put the right teams together. So it's like it's hard to say a certain strong point because I feel like my weakest point is that I do too much. My weakest point is that
Yeah.
my weakest point is that I can do something from start to finish, but if it takes 80 man hours, I'm one person.
Over execute.
Yeah, I'd be like, all right, like it takes 80 hours. If I had 4 people on it, it'd be 20 hours each. But it's like, nah, I know how to do all of these. So sometimes because of my reliability, building my rapport with clients or just people knowing the quality of what I deliver, sometimes I'm like, nah, this ball can't be dropped. I can't put it in somebody else's hands because they came to me for A, B, C, and D.
Mm-hmm.
If I had someone drop the ball anywhere, I drop the ball, So at times that can kind of be like a kind of a thing, but
And that's kind of why you like to work by yourself.
nah, you know what? It's not even I like to work by myself, but I play the long game. A lot of people in today's world are with instant satisfaction. Some people don't understand what it takes to build an unbreakable infrastructure. Like some people just want to keep building stuff that's going to fail, like automatically fail.
Mm-hmm.
And they don't care because they want to post it online. Me, I'm putting in so many pieces to where I'm like, this will not crumble. The moment I announce this, it's sticking. Like that's kind of what happens. The moment I bring something out, it does not shake. Most stuff I put my name behind, there's years waited on it already. And people I don't even know are tuned in. And I'm like, dang, I didn't even know you was paying attention to this. You walking up and saying certain things to me. And I'm like,
Yeah.
Okay, good you tuning in. Tell me, shoot, I'm thinking, ain't nobody paying attention. And then I got like
Yeah.
everybody watching. So yeah, that's kind of why I work by myself. I mean, I do have different teams that I kind of bring in for certain things, but I just knew at a certain point, my brain's crazy. My brain is crazy for the ideas I have. Sometimes you can't communicate it. Like sometimes you can't tell people what's really on your mind and be like, I'm telling you, if I throw this alley oop, it's gonna be a slam dunk. And they be like, man, you holding the football. Trust me. Just I'm like, trust me, like it might sound crazy, but you can dunk a football too. Like my brain be like on 10 different waves.
You know who said that?
I don't want to know who said that. Who said that?
Kanye
I
West.
knew he was about to say that. What did
I'm
Kanye?
Steve Jobs. I'm Walt Disney.
But
Or whatever how you do it. Yeah, it's
but
kind of
see,
funny.
but see with Ye though, like Ye's an extremist in his genius. Like me, I'm a student still. Like
Yeah.
sometimes I doubt myself, but then like I think I doubt myself because of humility, if that makes sense. Like a lot of people that I look up to are humble, and I like to bring people with me because I'm like, man, we all could win. We all could eat. Like I don't feel my spot is threatened. When you try to bring people who know where you came from, they don't like subconsciously, the mindset doesn't allow you to be bigger than what they know you as. You will always be whatever point they came into their life with you. You will always be that person. So as you grow, they still see you as that person. So trying to bring them as your ideas grow sometimes becomes like a fight. And you can easily start doubting yourself. You're like, man, maybe I don't have it. But then you walk in a room where people meet you the first time or they meet you at this next level and you just like, man, do you know what this dude can do? And I'd be like, dang, that's crazy. I'm just me. Like you gotta tell you that all the time, man. I'm just me. But you get humbled sometimes when you're around people who don't really see all the work you put in, don't see all the tireless hours you put in, because they just like, man, this is the homie from so-and-so. You're like, okay, you're right. I got to go handle this business call, you know what I mean? But it's different.
Just don't let everybody know what's going on all the
Nah,
time. So
I definitely don't.
I know a lot of people assume just because like you ain't doing nothing at the moment, or you ain't saying it, or it's not happening. They assume it's not happening. And
I prefer for them to assume I am I like people in their natural element. Like that is the one thing I love about people in their natural element. Treat me how you want to treat me.
right.
And then the rest of the small details of what I can bring to the table are relevant. I walk into the jewelry store with do-rags. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, you want to treat me foul? That's cool. I spend my money elsewhere.
Yeah.
Because if you want to treat me like a thug, you know what I'm saying? I probably have a way more business context than you do dressing up to get paid minimum wage. It's not knocking you, but understand, like, I'm myself through and through. I will dress to the occasion, but if I'm chilling, like I'm chilling, but some people, they need the mask first to know how to put on a show. They need to know what they're looking at. They need to have the assumption to treat you a certain way. Nah, it ain't about that. Like I prefer someone to be in their natural stuff. If you an asshole, you an asshole. But if you like are a genuine person, bro, those are the best people to talk to. A lot of like really successful people be chilling to you. They be millionaires, billionaires posted in some slacks with a $20 watch.
Facts.
Regular conversation, how your day going and this and that. You walk away and they say, you know what? I really like you. Take my Lambo. You be like, what? But that's the mentality.
Yeah.
So my mind is always kind of like I treat every person like a human. Most people ready to just step on your toes, thinking you got certain failures, thinking you come from certain things, and just be foul for no reason. And you just kind of go like, you evil. How you treat a waiter, how you treat someone doing, like you evil. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't even want to be. I don't want that energy.
'Cause, yeah, I'm big on that too. Like the way you treat people. You know what I'm saying? It kind of shows like where you are.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, you can't just assume people are a certain way just because they look. It's that saying like they say how'd it go?
Treat the
If you-
janitor like a CEO or that
that
one.
too.
Yeah, that one.
And it says like if you see if you go into a let's say a white party or a rich party, and there's a guy in on a sweatsuit. It's either two things: it's either the brokest guy in the room or the richest guy in the room.
Yeah, that's true.
Because he got a, and
Yeah.
you know, a lot of those people they wear what's, you know, comfortable at a certain point. It's like, you know what, you know, it's not the clothes or whatever it is on a person. It's the person in the clothes or the person behind the jury.
And you know what? To me, I think to realize the moment to where I wasn't actively promoting doing music, I made the biggest leaps in the music industry. Where I wasn't even saying, "Hey, I'm recording songs, this and this and this." I made so many connections in like just life when it came to music, to a point to where it was like, all right, I could drop songs and then have to get approval, or be the person everybody gets approval from. And then when I drop a song, it hits everywhere I need it to without even blinking an eye.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I had no problem you treat me foul, but then when you realize I'm the person you have to go through, that whole attitude changes. You know, so I'm like, I don't have no issue. Do what you do. I'm gonna do what I do. But understand, everything is the ultimate goal is to do what I want to do and love it. And then, hey, if there's money involved, that makes it even better. But I don't want to have to sweat. I don't want to have a life to where I need to escape from. Like, that's played out. I don't want to be like, man, I can't wait to get off. I can't wait
Exactly.
I gotta go here, man. Like, I need a stress reliever. I need a vacation. Nah, I want life to enjoy every moment. That's what the goal is. A lot of people don't want that. They want money.
Money instead of happiness. And
Yeah.
I think it hits you in the long run. I think it would.
Yeah.
You know, they said, what? If you do something you love for the rest of your life, you never work a day in your life.
Yeah.
So, especially making money. I mean, making money off of something you love. Ah, man.
But most people don't even, it's weird. Most people don't even know what they love. That's where it's crazy. Most people don't know what they love these days.
That's true.
Is that when you start diving deep into the mind, most people don't know what they love. They love what the internet tells them to love, because that is what they feel is success. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, I love posting a selfie here to say that I'm on this vacation, because this shows that I had fun, or it shows that I went to this concert. Yeah, I had the worst seats in the house, but me showing that I went to this concert builds the perception that I was in the front row. It's like, okay, those likes are what you loved. Cool. That's your instant gratification of thinking people care. And most people don't care what they see. Like,
It's like one of them girls, like girls, females, like they're not talking to each other at all on the phone, but then
yeah, I've seen that.
then they
happen
grab a
lot.
selfie like this. Hey!
Yeah.
They turn up for three
Yeah.
seconds during like the little
And
selfie.
then they all fall back and say, "Send me that picture."
Yep.
Yep.
And not say anything. That's oh man, that's
You know,
crazy.
I think
Crazy.
I've been blessed enough to have real life instances that wake me up frequently. You know, like I had a time to where I had a BlackBerry, you know, so it was old school situation. And the card got corrupt that I had on that phone. And I remember, I wasn't big on ever taking pictures like that, but I remember losing those pictures. And I was like, man, I had like small pictures of like my younger sisters and stuff. I had memories in it. Like, this was before everything was uploaded to social media. So, okay, I got to make more memories. But then I thought about it, like, well, how many of those situations was I present in? The memory was in a picture. It wasn't in the thing. And then I look back at, you know, I dissect things. So I look back and I'm like, well, as a kid, well, dang, what I get for Christmas? I don't remember that. I remember playing football in the middle of the street on Thanksgiving. I remember the memories of stuff, not the material items.
Yeah.
So as I started to grow, I grew away from that wasn't even a thing on my list. You know what I'm saying? Like, I ain't got to have the flyest shoes and this and that. I will say, no, I'm not buying a $200 pair of shoes, a $150 pair of shoes, because it costs too much, and then flip around and buy a $4,000 camera the next day. It's not a money issue. It's just it's what matters to you. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Where your values lie.
yeah, like, so to me, it's just understanding and being rooted in that allowed me to truly embrace like my passion and stuff over time. Like, I don't care what people think. I don't do it for you. I do it for me. Like, I'm a geek when it comes to knowledge and learning. I don't care who it's from. I don't care if it's a music person. I don't care if it's a marketing person, a life person, a spiritual person. Feed me the knowledge. I will dissect and discern how I need to flip and create a picture, because it's like telephone. If whatever is a true statement, it's going to be consistent throughout all the different messages that come. And that's
Mm-hmm.
going to allow me to build a core. You know what I'm saying? So most people don't have that though. And to understand in marketing, I
What do
understand
you think most people don't have it? Like,
why do I think that?
yeah.
Because it changes so often, because they haven't found the root of their happiness. Like, so there are people who do have it, but what happens is a lot of people who choose to chase their passions still care what other people think. And other people will make someone else feel miserable because of their choice to be selfish in what they choose. Like they'll why do you do that? How do you do this? And find ways to bash them, or not necessarily support them when they're in the process of their journey. Then when they fail, all of a sudden they have, I got an alternative for you. Like, they was waiting to throw the alternative your way. They ain't trying to help you fix what's wrong. They're trying to give you something they felt was better anyway. And a lot of people thrive off those opinions. It's all in our learning system. A lot, because depending on cultures too, right?
Mm-hmm.
How important is your parents' opinion? How important are your friends' opinion? Your siblings? Maybe your school, your environment. How important are you pleasing your family name? Like, there's all that comes into play way before you talk about what you like to do. Imagine how many successful people do stuff like kill themselves. They are rich and all this stuff, but they ain't doing what they want to do, because there's a whole bunch of umbrellas that have to fall into before they can just say, you know what, this is what I want to do. And a few people who do want to do, it's like everyone thinks they're crazy or an anomaly, or and they always try to figure out how they get to that level of happiness. It comes with a lot of self-fight, a lot of self-doubt, a lot of confusion and trying to figure it out. Even now, in a world of entrepreneur, this is an entrepreneur world right now.
Mm-hmm.
Why do you think that is? You think because people are passionate? They're passionate about what they do?
I think some. Is that a rhetorical question?
No,
Or you actually
I'm just an
I
open
think
discussion.
I think it's either some have the passion to
Mm-hmm.
do it. A lot of the times I feel like it's more of what's cool,
Yep.
more of like the internet feel
It's
of
what's cool.
being independent.
And I think with the internet, there's a perception, because they say most people post their highlight reel.
Mm-hmm.
So you capture the people's highlight reels. So if you're being told you can start any business you want and just never work, and you hustle towards that and do this, most people are like, cool. The first thing most people say, well, what businesses are successful? You think that's going to do it? It's not because they care about it. They figured, hey, I don't have to work for someone else. I make my own time. I do this, not realizing you have to work harder as an entrepreneur to be successful. And if you're chasing something that you feel is the most easy, like the easiest route to go, and you're not even passionate about it, you're going to fail or be miserable. You're going to hate it
Yeah.
if you're successful, because it's going to become so overwhelmed and you're indulged in that. Or you're going to just fail because your heart's not in it. So in the era of entrepreneur, it's like these people are being convinced they don't have to work for someone else. They go in these places and be like, I'm not working for you. I'm like, I quit. I'm about to go work for myself. And then a couple months later, you see them doubling back, asking for jobs, because it's not an easy world, but because it's being pitched to them as it is by maybe a few people who love what they do, whatever the case, it becomes like a norm.
Mm-hmm.
And so, I mean, you just watch it happen. It sucks, but there are some people who really do love what they do. And there's some people who tell themselves they love what they do. And that comes from years and years and years and years and years and years of time built into it.
Yeah.
And then finally, when they come to terms years and years and years later, like, I don't even like doing this. And then what? Like, once you put 15 years in something, or however many years, you don't quit that. And some people just stay there, and then some people start something new. And once again, it's that fear. I'm stepping out something about myself. Like,
Mm-hmm.
That's my thought.
And I think that's one thing a lot of people have to get over is You love it. That's not mean it's going to come easy.
Yep.
So you got to kind of be, I feel, comfortable being uncomfortable
Yep.
and in an uncomfortable situation that you're not used to. Like for me,
Yep.
for instance, I'm not a huge social media person.
For sure.
I'm not on Facebook.
Yeah.
We got a little chat and stuff like that, but I don't even got. I ain't had that for a couple months. I
Yeah.
kind of stay back. But I'm in front of the camera. I got a whole podcast, so it is, and I love doing it.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Like I although I'm uncomfortable with sometimes, like behind the lights and the camera, like
Yeah.
I grow to get out of that uncomfortability as far as myself. So
And I think it's hard because most situations it's okay to be uncomfortable. The thing is though, when you don't have the leverage to put someone in a position who would love to do it because they're comfortable in that light, then that's where it becomes an issue. Like if you don't like running social media, you find someone on your team who cares nothing about nothing but social media. Then it's like, okay, hey, you like doing this? I hate doing this. How can we figure out how to make our life work together?
yeah,
But not everyone has that. Not everyone has that advantage. But that's kind of how you do solve it. The thing is, when you work for most businesses, the businesses already have that figured out. When you work for yourself, you don't yet. So you start to think, how do I just do all this that I don't want to do? And the thing is, when you're in your own head, like when you're glass house reference, when you're in your own house and your frustration is starting to crack the windows, it don't matter what anybody throws at those windows, it's gonna shatter. No matter if it's a leaf. If you started cracking that, whatever self-doubt you had internally, all someone do is gotta throw something your way and you start to completely self-doubt, thinking maybe they're right. And that's a battle everybody goes through. And some people can't tune those voices out. And it's hard because that is human nature. It's human nature to, if you already lost the war internally, anything externally is going to affect you, no matter how big or small, because you already defeated yourself. But on the flip side, if you became invincible inside and you didn't play devil's advocate and you said, okay, I'm going to stick through it, I'm going to do this, you can go to war with Tyson and you walk away and you good. You're like, man, it's all right. Like, you can't, you ain't my worst enemy. I'm my own worst enemy and I'm good. Like, I didn't already fought it. I didn't already went to this. I didn't already knew what's next. I already knew what I signed up for. But a lot of people don't have that warrior inside of them yet because they don't know it's okay to do that. They don't know it's okay to build that up inside. How many times, whether someone came to you or you went to someone and said, hey, I got an idea, let me run it by you. That vulnerable moment can crush somebody's soul.
yeah,
There's a lot of people who be like, man, let me tell you this. Even though they downplay that level of excitement, everything that happens after that, let me tell you this, is going to make or break that situation for someone without them knowing, right? Because they're like, I was thinking this. And they're like, hey, I mean, that's cool. Or, nah, that suck. Or, yeah, man, yo, develop it and bring it back. Let me know what you think. For people in like a regular light, it's hard. But you have certain people, like I've bumped into a couple people who are like on the spectrum and had those same kind of things. And I'm like, man, do it. Like I encourage them. Cause I'm like, how aggressively some people on the spectrum are because they love it. They don't have any kind of barrier to be like any kind of thing to say that's wrong to believe it. So you push them. But for the average person, people are waiting to tell you it's not going to work. So you got to know who you even approach in your circle because not everybody going to be gung ho. And sometimes they're not gung ho because their dreams didn't work. So they're going to tell you yours didn't work. You ain't asking them to put in no work. You ain't asking them to do nothing. You ask them for an opinion. And their opinion can just shatter your whole, reset you back 5 months, 5 years, whatever the case. Because you're like, nah, I had this idea, but somebody told me it was stupid and I trust that person.
right.
And I mean, that's the life they face.
That's a subject right there, because a lot of people. I agree with everything you said, by the way, and a lot of people like I think it comes along with being afraid to fail. I think that's the biggest one
Yep.
out of like everything. Like people afraid to step out and failing and not knowing that if you keep going, you can get up and keep pushing. The Floyd Mayweather effect. You know what I'm saying? He ain't never failed, but he had that mindset to where I would never lose.
Yeah.
Same as currently. I'm using current person, John Jones. I mean, he lost by a
Yeah.
disqualification, but it wasn't really a loss. It was a win.
Yeah.
But he's, unbeaten because he had a mindset of this is what I'm gonna do. And it was like narrow to the point to where it consumes you pretty
Yep.
much for, to win. And that's very rare, and a lot of people don't get that. It's very rare. You gotta work for it. You gotta
I think people naturally don't know how to disconnect or remove emotions or remove the perceptions of what you think people are supposed to do. That stops a lot of people. It don't matter if it's your mom, your dad. It don't matter if it's a best friend, a significant other. What you think they're supposed to do is self-imposed. You're thinking that. No one said that's the law and the standard of what their roles are.
mm-hmm.
And then even then, like, it's kind of the when people have little kids and kids are like, I want to do this. I'm like, yeah, you can be whatever you want to be. It's the brush off factor until they become it. The moment you become that, people will approach it differently. You can tell people stuff all the time. Yeah, that's nice. Go ahead and do your little thing and stuff. The moment you become successful, they're like, whoa. And even when they realize that whoa moment, they still won't block it out until someone else goes like, man, you see how big it's on? Like, man, I've been behind them the whole time. Like, I believed in them the whole time. Like, so
Yeah.
as the person doing it, you have to be prepared. Like, you have to be prepared. I hear a lot of people say, what's your walk away point? And I feel that applies to every level of life.
Mm-hmm.
At what point do you walk away? If you're passionate about it, is your walk away point not until you in the ground? Oh, you good. But if your walk away point is the first time someone doesn't like what you're doing, the first time it's a different of opinion, you ain't gonna make it anyway. You're gonna fail. You just have to figure out what you're gonna fail at, what you're gonna fail best at, what you're gonna fail and be cool and keep doing. That's
It took Tom Brady a divorce to be.
Man,
It's crazy, but it really did.
And you know what? Failing and succeeding is perception, because at every moment, people are doing both. Yeah. At every moment, there's no one 100% successful everywhere. You just don't know what they're failing at. Mm-hmm. There's people right now successful flying on private jets, billions or whatever. Then they kid hate them because they don't have no family time. Their significant other hates them because they never see them. They mom hates them because it's like, you keep giving me money, but when's the last time you've been to a birthday party? Like, they're failing in that aspect. Mm-hmm. And there's someone who is cool. Maybe they got the best man cave. They done got everything off eBay for like $20 and they successful with that. But they can't afford a sandwich from Subway. Like, they're succeeding in their realm of whatever, but financially they fail. Like, you know what I mean? Like, there's different elements, there's give and take. You just have to figure where your core and your balance is, and who's okay with what you decide and who you have around you. Because if y'all stuff don't align, it's just not going to even. That's a whole different level of stuff, So,
yeah.
But honestly, there's some people who see super successful people and be like, man, their life might suck.
And I think that goes along with a person's value too.
Yep.
What they value.
Yep.
Really, because a lot of some people are cool with that small house with a backyard with what do you call it? Like
white picket
plants
fences and stuff.
Yeah, white picket fence, and there's plants, and then you got a whole garden.
And it's okay. It's okay. You know what? I think people are afraid to say it's okay. Mm-hmm. It's okay if someone doesn't want the same stuff you do.
I agree.
Like, it's fine. I think the beauty of different people is what makes the melting pots, what makes the conversations. Like, you have a different religion. I'm not ramming what your beliefs are down your throat. I'm not ramming what my beliefs are down your throat.
Right.
I'm not ramming whatever, enforcing certain things. But your perspective matters. What you care about matters. Let's have a conversation Gloves off. We can be as honest as whatever. Nobody's feelings are hurt. You go back to your life, I go back to my life. We cool. You don't have to believe what I believe for me to be happy. But there's some people who walk through life just like that. Oh, your opinions are just so wrong because it's not mine. And that sucks for them because we are made up. Every person on this earth is made up of so many different combinations of unique things that they will never 100% agree with somebody. And if they do, they're lying.
Mm-hmm.
It means, or they're like a passive person who just lets stuff slide to not have confrontation. And it could be something simple. Oh, I don't like how they put their toilet paper that way. Oh, I don't like the color shoes or how they match. I don't like how they drive. Like, it's small things that people just say, you know what, that's not big. But point is, no one 100% agrees with everything. And the moment they do, you'll find out at one point what they disagree with. But it might be something that has a buildup and a random explosion to where the whole time they were suppressing it until they couldn't take it anymore. But it's like the goal is to appreciate each other and whatever you bring to the table. You know, everything don't have to be a debate. Everything can be a disagreement to educate the other person. Okay, I see how you feel that way, but this is why I feel this way. And it's like, okay, cool. My opinion hasn't changed, but at least I know your side.
Mm-hmm.
Not everybody operates that way though, and that's life.
Yeah. You're speaking to the point of understanding.
Yeah,
like understanding is
yeah.
like the biggest thing. Like yet, I feel like to disagree but understand where the person is coming from.
Yep.
And then take it from there.
Yep.
And in these days, for me, I feel like a lot of people don't know how to don't know how to understand.
Yeah. Me personally, I just hate arguing.
I see it on your face, man.
Nah, I mean,
I hate arguing.
I hate arguing because it doesn't get us anywhere.
Yeah.
And I feel when I'm learning, it's the best thing in the world. I love those kind of arguments because, bro, like you might have brought some stuff I didn't even think. But the moment you start insulting because someone has a different opinion, or you start trying to make you feel you have a certain shift, I 100% win all those arguments. But I stop myself from even going to that level. Because most of the time, if I engage in something, like with a strong engagement, it's because I probably have dove deep into it. Like most music arguments, I don't argue. And I'm saying because what happens is you tell me somebody's the best, subjective.
Mm-hmm.
I agree with you. You like, that's cool. That's not my best. But the moment you start insulting, I'm like, you know what? It's like, what's your base? What's your foundation? Are you talking certain areas of songs? That person doesn't write their own songs. Are you talking vocals? I know they're vocal coaches. Like, you know what I mean? Like, let's not dive into an area to where I could tell you every support system that created that person.
Yeah.
Versus someone who's a pure talent. That weighs the argument different. All because you were so adamant about being right. You were blind and started becoming insulting to something else. Now I have to come into an argument to where, what for? Like, nobody, it's obvious you already shielded out any thoughts to grow.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know what I mean? It's you telling me something and I can't grow from it and you can't grow from me. The conversation should not exist another 30 minutes or an hour being dragged on with hostility. Because no one gains anything from it.
Mm-hmm.
If anything, you're going to walk away with hostility, or you're going to walk away and hop on the phone or hop on social media and tell someone something to invent and talk about me. And it's not even worth it. For what? Like a difference of opinion? Nah. That's the only reason why I don't like arguments. I mean, I can hold my own in them, but it's like, it's a waste of time.
Yeah.
You know, it's I'd much more rather, how was your day? What'd you learn? You know, I talk to somebody almost every day. I talk to someone from a different walk of life and learn something just on a being out and about, being on the go, being traveling or something. Like I talk to, it don't matter if they 80 or 4 or 5.
Yeah, I think that's why most though stay away from politics and religion, because those are the two that really big. I feel like it takes a strong person, like within themselves, to kind of open and understanding to have those conversations respectfully.
And honestly, fear comes out the most in those two. Like, and I say that because
I was about to say I don't understand what you
what
mean
I'm
by that.
saying is because, so if someone comes at you aggressively with their opinion and you can calmly talk to them about it,
Mm-hmm.
they start to listen and soften up a little bit. But if you start to make sense, fear comes because you start to
Mm-hmm.
crumble everything they've known and put their life on.
Mm-hmm.
So then they become defensive. Then they become a bit, the conversation shifts a little bit. And for what? Like you said, stay away from it. Cause I mean, like, it don't matter what you say if I have a rebuttal, but what's the point in going to that? And it's not even healthy to have those conversations with someone so deeply ingrained in something.
Absolutely. You're right.
Because
You're right.
literally, once again, what do you gain from it?
Yeah.
Like if you, my grandmother is a diehard Baptist. I grew up knowing the church, knowing Jesus, all that. I don't like when she throws some random insults or certain thing. You ain't go to church in a while. You ain't do this. It's like, okay. Or when she does things for the church, I love it. You know, but I was sitting there like, that's not me to that level. Like, I don't do the expertise. Say, hey, come in and do this and do that. I leave it alone because throughout her walk of life, you know what I'm saying? She's given some great values to people.
Mm-hmm.
What is an argument going to do? What, even if I brought certain facts or certain thoughts or opinions or research, if everything she's existed on these many years and raised these kids and helped these communities and whatever else she's done, or for anybody else for that matter, what benefit is that to go in and try to crush their whole soul? Some people go in arguments to crush someone's whole soul. And it's like,
Mm-hmm.
you just proved everything they've ever thought of a lie, which
Mm-hmm.
means every foundation they've built, every relationship they have is based on a lie or altered perspective. And for what? For personal satisfaction in a 5-minute conversation? And you just crush, like, you know what I mean? It doesn't make sense. But for some people, that's the end goal. And it's like, you didn't even do anything. Because it doesn't matter if you're Christian. It doesn't matter if you Jewish. It doesn't matter if you do Scientology or whatever your other belief systems are. If you, in your core, have something good about you, who's just saying, I'm going to do the benefit of other humans, you are in a good space. Because so many people are finding out ways to be like, they use those same avenues to be extremists and be hateful towards everyone. So if you're like, you know what, whatever I believe pushes me to do good for people,
Mm-hmm.
bro, that's good. That's amazing. Like, you are in front of the majority of the world at this point because you're doing good with whatever foundation you have built on you. Most people want to figure, let me be right. That's the dumbest thing ever.
Yeah.
You know, so it's, to me, I always look at it like, that's why I say fear comes out in those conversations.
Okay.
Because if you strip away what people know, what do you do?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it's, you saw the you used to watch Dave Chappelle?
Yeah.
You know the Clayton Bigsby situation, right?
Absolutely.
Take away from the face value. So the Clayton Bigsby situation was, there was a blind black man and he was in the KKK. And one day they wanted him to take his hood off. And he's blind. He doesn't even know he's black. He takes it off and everyone knows he's black. And now his whole existence, to his marriage and everything else, he divorced his wife because now she was with a black guy. Like, she was blind as well. But point is, think about that in a life form.
I'm sorry,
Like, you
man.
know what I
I
mean?
was thinking of the episode.
Yeah, so his head exploded.
You
The head,
know,
dude, the crowd head exploded and some more stuff. But you know what I'm saying? Like, take that and think about life that way, though, right? Because what's the point in certain situations? It's like,
yeah.
you just build up a certain amount of knowledge and knowing. Granted, that's a comical view of it, but for real, what's the point in shattering someone's whole world and then just walking away and going with your life? They got to recover from that.
Yeah. Yeah.
To be right? Nah. I'd be like, you good. Like, I will. You've heard me. We in the PlayStation parties and sometimes I'd be like, you got it. Like,
It's like Eastern medicine versus Western medicine.
yeah, it's like,
Oh,
right.
that conversation is not
Yeah,
like
it's,
like you dare to go up to somebody with a doctor, PhD, and all kind of stuff, an MD, as an a herbalist like Dr. Sebi and all.
yeah.
Imagine them having a conversation. It would never go nowhere.
Because so I mean, back to the belief system thing, right? Like, some people based everything off what they're taught. in a sense of, somebody had to write this, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, someone had to narrate the story before it came to you, right?
Mm-hmm.
This can't be the Holy Grail because someone had to narrate this before it came to you. So, of course, someone narrated another thing that's just like this elsewhere. Like, this isn't the only way that works.
Mm-hmm.
With medicine is proven too. And especially if you're
What I'm saying is, if you go to an MD with that bug, like you ain't gonna go nowhere,
well,
bro.
that's what I'm
That's their
saying.
whole
Like
with the
that,
college,
yeah,
they with the
that's what I'm
grad
saying. They
school. They
they
went
learned, they had a certain system to which they learned. The thing about it is, it's like,
even if it's proven,
yeah,
bro.
I know
That's
it's
dead.
it's yeah,
That's the one thing I know. Like that's it goes along with what you just said. Like you
yeah,
questioning the whole person's existence.
yeah, just not,
What they doing is for you gonna tell me what I'm doing is for nothing?
man, just
Oh no. Oh no.
yeah.
That's for another day. Me and my
And
boy done
and then
touched on
and
that.
then look,
Big
like I told
pharma
you,
and all.
15 years in that, and then you be like, man, yeah, a lot of these conversations I can chime in too well on, so I can't chime in on them at the same time. I've sat in on some exclusive meetings behind the scenes stuff with a lot of this too, so I'll be like, yeah, I'm just an innocent bystander.
It
That's
really is Kanye, yeah.
yeah, man.
Like that, yeah. Oh.
I do. You know, yeah. Look, I ain't gonna say I'm Kanye. That's not gonna. You ever see me and Kanye in the same room? Probably not. No, I'm not gonna do that with Kanye. I'm joking. This
You
ain't the
say-
Batman joke. I'm far from Kanye.
Nah, man, ain't nothing wrong with Kanye.
Nah, ain't nothing wrong with Kanye.
He say some.
He just don't. He don't filter how he delivers it, and that's cool. Just not everyone can take that. So what I was gonna tell you, what I was saying earlier, the Black Panther situation, right? So this is a nice little marketing flip with Kanye. Kanye said his dad used to be in a Black Panther, helped out the community, so on and so forth. He said this major conglomerate of a company that happened to put out a movie that has a similar name is now taking all the Google results for it. So when you go to search those terms up, no longer are you going to see the people who help the Black community, because the multi-billion-dollar industry is flushing that out.
Mm-hmm.
Now, without saying names, obviously, but that y'all can put two and two together and figure what that means. But that's these 10-year-olds, 12-year-olds. They can even go younger. When they search, that's all they know is Wakanda. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
That's a crazy reality, because that's now. 15 years from now, that like the history is gonna be.
You can drop names, bro. I ain't that big, but you can drop names. Bro.
Nah, but it's not even that. I mean, we say Disney, but I mean, obviously Black Panther movie, but it ain't even about you. I mean, I got my own ties with a lot of stuff too.
That's true.
So,
Yeah, you do got
and
Mogul Mind podcast. Yo, check that out.
I only speak truth, but I'm not in the business of bashing, because I do know enough people at enough companies to, when I speak truth, stuff can get flipped a certain way. But in all reality, like, thinking about it, I remember one comic. I don't remember who it was. It had to be somewhere in the likes of like a Cat Williams, or Chris Rock, or Dave Chappelle. Somebody was over in Africa. They're in Egypt, and they stepped into one of the pyramids.
Yeah.
And they were noticing that the people were physically painting over the hieroglyphics with white paint. Might not seem like a bad thing, but for everyone who now will go there, will see these white figures that Hollywood already has whitened up.
Yeah.
And now they're going to see the physical representation there
that
people went and altered. Because by the time everyone who phases out and knows the true history, there's nothing to dispute it. All the movies were shaped that way. All the books, all the readings. It's kind of like, okay, cool. So now the history's washed out. And then what happens is, then you get Kanye's. You get people saying, that's crazy. I was never like that. And then everyone else, you get the masses and say, yes, it was. What you talking about? It's been that way. That's the reality of what we're facing with a lot of situations. So that when you said That it kind of reminded me when you said Kanye.
You know, and this is why we did an episode about this already about the media, bro. Like I feel like uh um Kanye is like he's getting criticized, as he should, especially for some of the stuff he's saying. But I feel like the deeper root of it, a lot of the stuff he's right, and it, a lot of people gonna disagree with that. But just sit out when I listen, like when you look at the media, it's like it's all the bad. I don't want to see the full interview. I want you to pick out clips and then show everybody of of
You
like
you
what you want
you
them to
won't
see.
get
I
that.
hate that.
You won't get that.
Go watch the interview yourself. My
You
fault, but
no.
oh,
People like the
good.
microwave. You know, like instead of the oven. People want the quick satisfaction, and honestly, too, it goes to what we were talking about earlier. Like people want to be convinced of what to follow, um, and other people want likes and comments, right? So they're going to break down a certain. Someone can drop 30 minutes of amazing information, but that one 30-second clip that seems outrageous is going to be what gets the millions of hits.
Yeah, that's yeah.
Not even knowing the context of what was said.
Hmm.
I say, and I live by the principle. I don't think anyone told me this. I just really just thought about it one day. And I say life is neutral. And everything in life is neutral. Every concept is neutral. It's not negative or positive till you put your spin on it.
Hmm.
The problem with that thought process is that ruffles some feathers. Because I don't care how crazy, how drastic, how severe a situation is, I can sit up here and tell you it's neutral and probably justify both sides.
Hmm.
But it's not until it personally strikes somebody that it becomes a confrontational situation, right? So Kanye does a lot of that. And if you can take away your emotions out of it, you can see where he's coming from.
Hmm.
But like you were saying, where people showing snippets, they gonna do whatever for the attention, right? Because I mean, hey, I got traffic coming here. I don't care if you watch the 2 hour interview. I only did the 2 hour interview to get the 30-second clip.
Hmm. And that's the problem with it. We so used to. It started off with Vine, and then Vine died off, and then COVID happened, and TikTok came out of
But
nowhere, and now attention spans is 15 seconds.
but
It's crazy.
it's always been that way. The only difference is now the people who have no education or game or knowledge of it have it in their hands. The news been doing that probably since you were in diapers.
Yeah, it's probably
Way before that.
yeah. It was way before
They've been
that,
doing it.
shaping
I
the
mean,
narrative to where they
that's
want it.
literally what the news pumps fear in people. They've been doing it so long. That is what it's about. Now people are doing it themselves. They just don't understand how harmful it is because this is the way you bring attention. And now you have, instead of one huge corporation doing it, you got millions of people trying to figure out how to do it.
Hmm.
Like
Yeah.
all these companies been doing it. The difference is they had a plan behind it. They've had board meetings. They specifically catered to what they wanted. They knew what they were doing to build their products versus the person who woke up, was bored one day and said, this is how I'm gonna do it. Like,
Mm-hmm.
let me seem and be important because this social media got a couple million hits doing this. Like, and it kills the livelihood, even of celebrities, right? Because Jay-Z just did this, and then you meet somebody on the street that's Jay-Z's third cousin. He like, man, I remember him. He ain't do nothing for the family. My grandma was just talking about it. You said, for real? You ain't told nobody else this? Let me get it. Jay-Z's cousin say he ain't shit with a
Yeah.
backstory.
I said, yeah.
I'm the first one with that media advice. It's all people think about. That's they're so focused on that attention. You know what I mean? They don't care. They don't care if it's true or not. Like, even if it was a 15-minute clip and he was like, nah, he's a good person. And this, that moment you say, well, my mom don't like him. That's the clip you take. Like,
Hmm.
how you think it's gonna get back to Jay-Z? He ain't gonna pay attention to that 15 minutes.
All right, I want to flip it for a second,
Of
man.
course, man.
Since you're an artist,
Here we go.
who's your favorite, man?
Favorite what?
Artist, rap artist, right now.
Like, you gotta get so specific with that question.
for
Um.
today. For today.
Oh, this is about to be a weird one. I don't know. Um. I don't know.
Matter of fact, just give me your all-time top five.
I don't even know that one because I got like top fives. I do.
You got two separate
Hey,
top five A, top five B.
I be like top five freestylers, top five content. It's bad.
See, if you got
And,
top five everything, just give me the top
and
one out of those top five.
Eminem.
Everybody say Eminem. Everybody say Eminem.
but I gotta reel it. I got like I have meaning behind everything I say. So
Yeah, elaborate.
we gonna go into all that. Man,
Eminem at 1 or 5, or are you just saying names? It's not ranked.
Eminem probably at 1.
At 1?
Mm-hmm. For sure.
Numero uno.
Yep, but I mean, it was a fall off point though. But you just said name. You just said name. We didn't go into context.
So Eminem's number 1?
Yep.
Okay. All right. Okay. I just want to justify.
Nah, I mean, he about to take y'all. Remember some of that clip?
All right.
Remember
that
controversial?
I'm about to clip that.
That controversial clip that's about to come out. That's gonna be it. I really rock with Joe Budden. That's a crazy one too. The depth of that boy's music. E40 for iconic stature of what he did too, just being the Bay. Dang, this list is gonna be
so E40.
This ain't even like we gotta. It's changes, man. It's not even the right situation.
You got Cali artists on there. Top 5 artists in Cali, from Cali, all time. That was a hard one too.
Of course, it's hard. I'm gonna have to go Pioneers on this one, bro, because you got to get just their music. Or we just talking about their music?
Just their music. Not it don't have to be
nothing else they ever did in life.
It don't gotta be like social,
like not impact and none of that. Like they.
I mean,
see what it see. You see,
just go pure music. Pure music. Just go pure music. Pure music catalog. Whether they write it, produce it, just their artistry.
We'll still throw E40 in there. I got it. That's a GOAT level. Like just what he's able to do.
That's 5 and 1. I'm putting pressure on you. That's 5 and 1.
It's 5 and 1. No,
that's 5 or 1. It's just ranking. Just names.
Ain't no rank.
Man. Okay, I ain't know if you was ranking. Just going to top 5.
Just naming to name. What the hell?
I'm just saying, bro.
I gotta put a Kendrick in there.
Okay.
I might change that in a second. I'm still gonna put West Side Boogie in there because it's my current West Side Boogie is cold.
Okay. West Side. Okay.
This is about to be all time. I can't do all time. I can't do all time because it changes so much. So I'm gonna put Mozzie, but that's not all time because I like what he brings to the table.
Cool. Yeah, Mozzie cool.
That's why I said I can't. We just ain't. Cool. We can't do it all time just right away. You know what I'm saying?
Nip. Nip.
Yes, Nip. Yeah, Nip. Nah. It's. I can't never answer this question right. I'm out because it changes. Like my thoughts change so much as I'm
going.
You know what I mean? Like
as you think about it, I don't know about him.
Yeah, nah, because as I'm being in this field, the more I keep learning about people, it changes so much stuff. Like, you know what I mean? Like there's artists where I was like, yo, he's the GOAT. And then I talk to somebody and they'd be like, yeah, we was in the studio writing for that artist. And I'm like, bruh, like how many people wrote for him? You know what I mean? Like this, it doesn't take away from the face of the artist, but being that I'm in the craft, I'm like, man, that's crazy.
Okay, so let me simple it a little bit more because we're going to get the top 5 out of you. So
I know you already
2010s. On
2010s.
2010s to now. Top five. Because it closes a lot of artists off.
No, it don't. It don't close a lot of artists off.
2010s, bro.
I know. I'm trying to
It's
think.
only 13 years of work. It's a decade.
Drake is in there. Drake is in there. Cole is. The top three are in there. Like Drake, Cole, and Kendrick.
Then who's the other two? I mean, Drake, Cole, and people probably don't. Some people don't put Cole up there. Some people
I
don't.
mean, that's a fair statement. That's a weird statement, but it's fair.
Some people don't.
I know.
I know somebody that doesn't put Cole.
So, I mean,
I got mad because Cole number one for me.
I mean,
he the GOAT for me. I don't know.
Remember we was talking about barbecue? That's a biased statement.
Absolutely. I said before, and I say it again. Dreamville is crazy. I love all of them.
You from South Carolina. He's from North Carolina.
I mean,
that's the only reason
why. That's
why.
not the reason
that's
why I like him, bro.
Statement.
That's not the reason I like him.
All right. Back to the statement over here.
Back to you, because you ain't giving me no top five.
I don't have no top five. It changes. Tomorrow's gonna be different. Like, don't ask me questions like that. I got a headache for thinking of it, because like it's just not. It's not simple for me, because like I dissect it on so like I'm still got a headache thinking about it, because I mean, like, to me, what it crafts. This is why I put Eminem at 1. It's the only reason why.
Oh,
I'm
yeah,
gonna tell you because you want to know, because
yeah.
All right. Who's your favorite basketball player?
Right now or like all the time?
You can answer how you want to.
I'm gonna just go. I'm a Spurs fan, so Tim Duncan.
Okay. You probably can spot a lot of people whose game came from Tim Duncan, right? And there's a lot of people. Not only do you as a fan appreciate what Tim Duncan did, but a lot of people on the court will probably put Tim Duncan in their top because of what he did when they were his opponents.
Mm-hmm.
Eminem is that in rap, in the sense of he birthed a lot of styles. A lot of styles came from his technical level of lyricism, from word bending to the intricacies. The switch up of the flow patterns. Not too many can switch up mid-beat to the different flow patterns. To be able to actually go from serious content to randomly goofy to like offensive content, be able to intertwine it, to be able to birth so many monsters that will put Eminem in their top, from the whole entire slaughterhouse. Tech 9 even puts Eminem in top. To other people's tops, they put him as his top. It's like, you know what I mean? Like, when you're in the industry, it's different than a fan, because you understand and dissect it differently. There's certain songs I don't want to hear of M. And then there's certain songs where I study, because I'm like, man, like, yo, like, this was a quadruple entendre nobody picked up. You know what I'm saying? Like, to me, when I was writing, when I was doing that, I've done stuff lyrically, because when I got on the track, I'm like, this is going to outbar a Royce. This is going to outbar an Eminem when I'm writing it. I've written, I think the most I've ever heard as far as entendres might be a quadruple, or what's after that, quintuple? It's probably 5. It's quintuple. I wrote, quint is 5, I think.
Wait.
Sept
Quint is 4, right?
Quad is 4.
Quad is 4.
I think quint is 5.
Quint is 5.
Yeah, right.
Is 5?
I wrote quint, sextuplet, 6, septuplet. I wrote a septuplet entendre. I don't know anyone who's wrote an entendre that has 7 meanings in one bar. That is my level of lyricism. But it was inspired by everyone who has so many technicalities to where I'm like, nah, I got to go harder than this. So what it birthed of me, it wasn't just an M, but M made me go listen to a West Side Boogie, listen to a Crooked Eye, listen to a Joe Budden, listen to everyone else who put it up there, and dissect them and the Black Thought. So when I can go like, okay, you know what I mean? Like, they're paying homage to this. Let me dissect. He pays homage to Redman. I went and dissected Redman stuff too. So that's why I can say that. But of course, a lot of the newer M, from like an enjoying standpoint, it's not really, it's watered down. The lyrics are still there though, like the entendres and stuff are still there. But the thing is though, he passed the baton off for inspiration. Even you see like in the Kendricks and a lot of those people who, even the Coles, even the Drakes, who you think they looked up to when they even who they were going after their production or the different metrics they were going after. It set a different standard.
Mm-hmm.
So if we talking, am I riding around every day and listening to M? Probably not. I mean, I still do get a couple of songs here and there that I want to listen to, but it doesn't take away from my thought process in that, because like in other genres and other things, who I'm going to put as a top is strictly for pure entertainment, being a fan. In this one, I study and dissect every last moment of it.
Mm-hmm.
My favorite artist is going to be a Michael Jackson. Now, granted, we didn't say artist, we said rap.
Rap, yeah.
But when I look at Michael Jackson, of course I'm amazed at what he did and who he inspired, because you wouldn't have the Ushers, you wouldn't have the Chris Browns, you wouldn't have the Bruno Mars, you wouldn't have the Weeknds. I'm not even the biggest Weeknd fan, but when you start to span that,
Mm-hmm.
it's kind of like those old trees. If you take that artist out, you lose a whole list of talented, super talented people who are considered the best in their craft.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Like, if you were considered great, that's the one thing. But because you were so great, you set the standard that everyone who modeled you became great. You are iconic. And there's not too many people who can do that. M is on that level.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone who's worked with M is on that level. People under him consistently have done that level. How it's kind of like looking in a circle, right? Because if you look at, I looked at Michael Jackson, but I directly went to shoot up to Quincy. I was just talking about that on Instagram a minute ago. Like, I happen to mention Quincy in almost every time I talk, because I'm like, I really admire what he's done, and he's 90.
Mm.
But without Quincy, you wouldn't have.
Man,
I'm not about to do this.
Don't
You get
even
my
do
point?
that.
You
Yeah,
wouldn't have
don't even-
the Queen Latifahs, the
Yeah.
Will Smiths. Like, so greatness begets greatness.
Yeah.
Now, if you go to a mediocre player and put him in your top, like, that's kind of like having a LeBron and Jordan debate. It's like, LeBron's cool. List every player that's great that came from him, though. You can't. Listen to the meta that Curry came in and changed right now with threes. It's fourth graders trying to shoot threes from half court.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so it's like, eventually, 20 years down the line, yeah, Larry Bird shot threes, Reggie Miller shot threes, but who changed what it meant to shoot a three? Because now everybody following that wants to be that three-point shooter
like,
from centers and stuff.
Nothing, I feel like LeBron is like the end of like that era as far as player.
The end of people, the end of
you know
the
how
era.
like the Curry era came in?
Yeah.
Everybody, it became 3-point shooting league.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like LeBron, because there's mad players that came, Bird, Magic, Jordan, Isaiah Thomas, all these people. And then once LeBron hit, LeBron was a combination of all of them.
No, he wasn't.
I feel like he was LeBron's he's not the greatest passer / scorer / assister / rebounder.
That's not a debate we're gonna have today.
Defense.
So
he's not.
Okay. You're right.
I mean,
No,
I ain't talking about the greatest
No. You're right.
of all time, because that's a debate. I'm talking about as a player, the skill set.
You're right, because the stats even say that, right?
I'm talking about the skill set. That's all I'm talking
The
about.
skill set.
The debate is you can talk about it all the time.
Well, I feel he had more games to accomplish goals than most people. He had more games.
No, I ain't talking about the most games and his stats.
Okay,
I'm just talking about his. I was
is-
just talking about his
is-
overall.
He is
game.
a great. I feel like he is a jack of all trades, master of none.
That's what I mean.
Yeah, which to me is cool, but that's like it's a difference between someone you need on your team and someone you want on your team.
Yeah.
And I mean, need is like y'all playing pickup ball, like whatever he's going to deliver, but not that person who's going to streamline something.
Yeah.
Not so clutch to where you build the support around him because you know what that person delivers. Like, I feel like LeBron can be placed anywhere. That's a great thing. But I also feel like he kind of was the Tom Brady of the NBA in the sense of you whine, you get calls.
No, wait. See, you jumping into I feel like you're jumping into of a conversation about LeBron in general and his accolades.
Yeah, what I'm adding is I'm saying a lot of those extra things feel more because of the combination of all of that, because of the attention that can be drawn to him, because of the fact that he's made himself to be that isolated attention person, like, the person where eyes are on LeBron. You can't. There might be somebody. It's kind of what Jadakiss said. Jadakiss said in the line, "There's somebody up north better than Jordan that didn't get that break." I feel like there could be someone in the league who might have some of the same skill set, but there's so much attention drawn on LeBron for he knew how to Kanye himself. He knew how to make himself the person to focus on no matter what the situation is, to where some of those situations are subjective. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not a basketball enthusiast, so I'm not gonna come through like that. But I bet if someone came in here who was diehard statistic, watched every game, they probably can pick a couple people who have very similar traits of LeBron. But it's just that LeBron is that person. You know what I mean? He's that person that has the attention on him. Like, it's like, yeah, he did this. You know what I mean? But just like when you say Tim Duncan, someone come and say, well, I know someone who can, head to head. It's like bringing up T-Mac. Everyone who's ever played T-Mac says how great T-Mac is. Even Kobe said how hard to defend T-Mac was. Mm-hmm. How many people, regular basketball fans bring up T-Mac?
He's one of my favorites, actually.
But a lot of people don't. They'll bring up Vince before they bring up T-Mac.
Yeah.
It's kind of one of those situations. It's like, to a person who really knows basketball and really messing with it, they'd be like, hands down, McGrady did his thing. But the people who pick and choose, they're like, man, just throw in there who I know got the spotlight on him. I kind of feel that way about LeBron. Like, I'm not taking away for what he did, but I feel like there was never another moment to have anyone else to even take a glance at.
But as I'm like I said, I wasn't talking about him. I'm talking about
him being the whole package, right?
Just in general,
what he does,
because nobody before him
was like a full
package.
Yeah,
I'm talking about guarding 1 through 5. That type. I'm not saying
I can see that.
I'm not saying a GOAT. I'm talking about the.
No, I can see that.
Can pass like he do.
Yeah,
Can score the ball like he do. His versatility.
His versatility is amazing.
And he didn't shoot the three as crazy. It's decent.
Yeah, but it's
not as crazy. And that was that era before him, because nobody shoot threes like that. I mean, you had Steve Kerr's and Bird and stuff like that, but they wasn't shooting like that.
Yeah,
and I feel like once Steph, he was there. He was that whole package of that era, as far as being a big. Well, he ain't a true big, but being a big, like
being
Charles
able
Barkley
to maneuver
big,
and be versatility enough. Yep.
Being able to pass, being able to.
Yeah.
But then Curry came, and a whole nother era just completely came dominating with the threes and stuff like that.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And now everybody is translating it to the 3 era.
Yeah, I don't think LeBron had an era of influence though. Like, I don't feel like, he was there, but I don't think it changed the meta at all in the NBA.
No, it didn't.
Yeah.
I don't think it did. I think he was just like that one player of like that had in a center.
Yeah.
I never seen he dominated.
Yeah,
I feel like he dominated, but I mean like the era as far as like player like the changing of the game. I don't think he did that.
I think there's very few players who got like the who can be considered shifting the meta of different sports. And he wasn't in that list. Because you think of that's when you start to think of the Jordans, the Shaqs as far as size. Like Shaq dominating the paint was a thing like that. But that's a whole. But yeah, I agree with on versatility with that one.
All right, time is running a little low.
We can get right up. We can wrap it up. We can
wrap it up. Hey, go ahead and tell everybody your social media platforms, everything you got going on.
At none_illa or noneilla.com. Yeah, just that's the best way to find me. I got the Mogul Mind podcast, MINED, that drops on all platforms that we listen to podcasts.
And that's fire.
But
Mogul Mind.
5 to 15 minutes of quick gems for you. You don't have to sit there and be a hostage to it. You can just tune in and you can listen to anyone in any order. It's not a sequential thing. It's literally just moments of game. And I literally try to put the title and a little bit of the description in for you. So you might mess around and binge listen for all I know. But hey, I'm around.
Got you. One more question.
Yeah.
It's a final question.
He about to say something. Watch.
Is water wet?
Water is water.
And that's all, folks. That's a wrap.
Oh man, we were trying to hit the water wet, man. I was like,
that's it.
We about to do that one, man.